Welcome to Sweeping the Country one more time, and a very special Vault edition. And Jimmy, I got to tell you, I'm excited about this one.
Oh, I tell you, these guys are understated funny. You know, they're people like Robin Williams, Billy Crystal, Jerry Seinfeld, others that you sort of laugh. Jerry Seinfeld's a little bit in this class, but these guys are, one of them particularly is not known to be a funny person, but he was in one of the most successful sitcoms. This other guy is refusing, or at least he's didn't get paid enough or didn't want, I think he just didn't want to go back to the character.
Yeah.
But he sure was good the first time around. And that's the character of Niles Crane on Frasier.
Yeah, he was great.
Frasier's coming back, and he got most of the original people to come back. The dad has passed away.
That's
so
right.
Obviously that's not possible. But he's got a guy out of England that's going to play a role similar, a foil sort of, that David Hyde Pierce did. And I did this interview on the set of the very last Frasier episode.
Oh, man.
I was there for the very last one. And so this was actually on set with David Hyde Pierce.
With my calculations, I think you would have probably been manager of the men's department at Bloomingdale if you'd have kept that job.
You know, you're almost right, except they fired me.
They did fire you.
They fired me. I was signed on as Christmas help. This was selling neckties at Bloomingdale's, and I hated it, and I was terrible at it. But then at the end of Christmas, they keep some people on and they'll let other people go, and they let me go, and I was heartbroken. Just because I thought I was rejected.
Did you ever work any other weird jobs on the way to acting?
Not so much weird. I was a paralegal in a law firm. That was my main job in New York while I was doing theater, and that was a great job because I worked on a case that went on for so long that I'd get a play and go do it, and then the play would close, and I'd go back to the law firm, and the case was still going on, so it became my unemployment.
Is it getting weird yet, talking about the end here as it's kind of leading up to the last couple of days? I remember working a job when you know something's going to end, and it gets odd toward the end there.
It's odd. It is odd is actually a really good word for it because it's different things, different days. Sometimes it's very emotional, as you would expect. Sometimes it's completely surreal, and you're simultaneously dealing with the end of this huge chapter of your life and all of these relationships with crew and cast and everyone, and also looking at the big chasm on the other end and thinking, what the hell is going to happen now?
I know. I did a show 18 years, Crook and Chase, and that's how long we did it. And it was, we've been gone now 4 years, and it's still weird. I mean, it's
really,
a long time. 18's a long time to be doing anything.
Yeah, well, Kels has been playing this part 20 years, and we've got people on the crew here who've been here not only through Frasier and Cheers, but back to Laverne and Shirley on this same stage. So,
is that a good thing? I mean, for an actor to play a part that long? I mean, it's good and bad, I guess.
I'll tell you, if it's Kelsey Grammer, it's a good thing because he actually has the resources as an actor to continue surprising you 20 years into a character. He still makes us laugh. And a lot of actors would be phoning it in by year 10, let alone by year 20. But he's got the goods, so we're glad.
What's kept you energized? I mean, the writing is excellent. The read through today, I laughed. I mean, it's bright. It's very witty.
Yeah. It's got to start with the writing because no matter how good the actors are, if you have some, piece of crap that you've got to push up a hill, that's going to wear on you. But also, we all spark each other as actors. Everyone is so good. Everyone is so surprising in their work that between having these great scripts and then having this incredible rapport as actors, it's like being flying Melendas or something. You really, it's always a thrill.
Then it must be weird for you to go off and do a movie. In a way, it's fresh, but you're so comfortable in this environment and safe, I would think.
It depends on the movie. The last movie I did was a movie. It had Ewan McGregor, Renee Zellweger, Sarah Paulson, and me, and it had the same feeling. If you get the right combination of people, you have that great feeling of you can do anything, you can try anything, and you're all mutually supportive. So I've been very lucky, in fact, all along in basically having that environment.
All right, here's a hard question to ask because I know it's a politically hard one with NBC over my shoulder. Was there any is there rivalry among sitcoms as far as one trying to outdo each other in ratings or attention from the network or whatever it is that you judge success and go by? I mean, do you guys feel like, you're competing with the Joneses or you're only competing in your world?
The answer is yes and no, because there's definitely rivalry, not so much amongst shows that you're on the network with, But obviously, you know, in our years when they put us up against Home Improvement, or when we were, you know, that kind of rivalry, that inter-network rivalry, you have to pay attention to that, because if your show doesn't get good ratings, it doesn't matter how good it is, they will take it off the air. But mainly, we don't have to worry about that. We do our show, we get these great scripts, and it's much more important to us how we solve the problem of any given episode, and let other people worry about the network dynamics.
I was going to tension from Mama, I guess, is what I was thinking of. You know, sometimes, you know, being the big kid on the block. I mean, there's only so many shows that can get the most attention. And I know we're speaking of Friends here, and I know the press wants to make something out of it, but I didn't know if there was really anything there.
Oh, I think it's absolutely true that the press would want to make something out of it, because naturally, you look for a story. And I know we've done press conferences where people have said, well, what do you think about, like, Friends getting all this attention? And the thing is, we haven't really thought about it. Now, when you ask us a question and we answer it, then suddenly you have an answer to a question that we weren't really worried about. So, to me, the bottom line is all of those issues, including what our ratings are this season, all of that will evaporate in 3 months. But, you know, we end in May. By June, no one will care. But the show will be on as long as there's reruns.
That's right,
and
forever.
That is unchangeable, and you can't fight with that. It's a great show, and people will be able to refresh their memories about that for years to come.
I did not watch Frasier when it was on NBC.
What?
I mean, I walked through the room and it was there.
Yeah.
And I didn't do Seinfeld either. I was always working at night, so I wasn't available to watch sitcoms.
Yeah.
And later, I guess during COVID, really, I somehow got into the deal where every night we were watching Frasier, like at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it was very good. I loved them.
It was well written,
I look
Jimmy.
forward to seeing them, a different one every night. And there, to me, one person wasn't any funnier than anybody else. There were episodes that David Hyde Pierce was featured.
Yeah,
and there was Roz, and there were, you know, the dad, and there
dad
were
was
people
great
that came in and out, and you had all these other people anyway. So Frasier's coming back, probably the end of the year, I think.
I'm kind of excited about Kelsey Grammer's going to do it.
People are Roz is back.
Yeah.
What?
Kelsey Grammer's going to do it then, huh?
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer and all the original characters except for David Hyde Pierce. And he didn't want to return to that character. I guess he just moved on as an actor. He made a lot of money doing this, I am sure, and continues to make a lot of money making it. But they say there's some British guy who Kelsey Grammer had worked with in London who's going to be great. So, I mean, I can't wait. I hope it's good. I'm a late convert. There was a comedy that there's just a lot of, Frasier is one. Seinfeld is great. The Larry Sanders Show, it was one that a lot of people just didn't get. They didn't get the Larry Sanders Show. It was too hip for the room.
I don't know, but it was
something.
funny.
But Frasier was accepted by a wide audience and continues to be, and that's why they're playing with fire, bringing it back.
Yeah.
You know, because it's so beloved. It was like trying to get Lucy back, or
MASH.
trying to get any of these things back.
Oh,
so
yeah. Any of those.
See.
I think it's written so well. I think it'll do fine. And I think part of the following with that was when they came out of, wasn't it Cheers? That was the spinoff from Cheers.
Yes, Cheers.
So they had an audience already. So I think that kind of helps, especially when Kelsey Grammer was leaving.
Yeah, and I was another one. I was always working, and so I didn't watch Cheers.
Oh, gosh.
I may have seen one or two episodes, maybe somewhere.
Yeah.
I've never seen Cheers.
Oh, so good. It was so funny.
I mean, I've seen a couple of things. I saw when somebody married somebody. I was not that big a fan of whatever his name is, who was the star of that.
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson. I like Shelley. I'm not a big Ted Danson. You know, he's not really that great to me. And some of the other people I liked, Normans. I just didn't get into those characters. I'm from the South.
Yeah,
the story
I
about
got
Boston. I just didn't get into it. But Kelsey Grammer and this role, when I watched it in later life, it was pretty damn funny. And they deserve to win. Now, this show, the next show, is a beloved one by not my generation, but a generation, Married with Children.
I love that show. Ed Oneill.
It sounds like this would probably be your bunch of people that were watching this.
I loved it.
Al Bundy. Now, I knew enough about Al Bundy to talk to Al Bundy, but this is another one of those shows I knew it was on, but I never got that much of a chance to get into the character. But he he's nothing like the character.
Really?
He is definitely an actor. You know, this guy was, he was on the, I think he was what do they call it? Not signed for Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a
Oh
football player,
gosh.
and he actually was, unsigned,
A
went on,
free
and then he didn't
agent.
make
Yeah, a
it. But
free
still,
agent.
big guy.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. He's 6'1", and he went to high school football. He played at Youngstown State. Defensive lineman is what he was.
Wow.
Off-season and/or practice squad member only. But still,
Yeah.
then he went off and did this. And what a great part for him. And I'm sure it made him a fortune, and he's done other shows obviously since then. But here's a nice little chat, and a rare one because he didn't do a ton of interviews.
No.
I don't think he ever did the talk show set or anything else, but here he is, Ed Oneill, AKA Al Bundy.
Is Al Bundy the best and the worst thing that's ever happened to you?
For sure. Yeah, that's...
Because it is a mixed bag, isn't it?
Yes, it's very, it's very lucrative, and put me on the map and all that. And then of course there's the downside, which is, you're, as I was saying earlier, you're like Porky Pig,
I have to watch this thing almost every day now because the little one in the house sneaks over and watches it. Probably things on there she shouldn't be seeing, but she gets there. And when you look at this guy, if you happen to pass a set and see him on camera acting and see the character, you just shake your head sometime?
To be honest with you, I get a kick out of it. And a lot of things I do, I don't. But for some reason, the Bundy character, I've always gotten a big kick out of watching it. I don't know why. I mean, I don't associate myself with it maybe that much, I look at it and I think, what a goon, or what a funny character, what a strange character. Just the way he thinks amuses me. So I guess it's sort of a happy combination,
Is it kind of fun to put on that hat most of the time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he's so crude and so slow-witted, animal-like, very basic,
Has the cast as a whole been rather surprised at how big that thing has gotten?
Oh, everybody. I mean, you couldn't possibly have imagined that this would...
Just a very boutique little show here when it started out, basically, on a fourth network and everything.
It's just a long shot. It's just the shock troops, really, I think, for Fox. I think it was the first assault on the media, or on the beach, to see who, we'd be chopped down and then they'd bring in their better shows, but after having gotten some attention with the outrageousness of it. But I don't think anybody thought that it was going to be, we're going to do our 200th episode this year. I think there's only 20 shows in the history of television that have ever shot over 200 episodes.
And how much longer?
I don't know, this is our 9th, and we'll probably go 10, and then it's anybody's guess. It's actually anybody's guess after 9.
I mean, but nobody's trying to bail out necessarily?
No.
That's usually what happens.
Not now. I mean, why now?
We'll come back when you're 65 and Al Bundy will be a great-grandfather.
And the kids will still be at home.
That's funny. I had a great time at this movie. I see a lot of crap, but I had a good time at this movie.
I did too when I saw it.
It's just a uplifting Bad News Bears, but a little cleaner.
But in football, yeah, it has a good look to it. It moves well, I think. It moves along. And I was really happily surprised when I saw it. I mean, I'm surprised in that, you never know what you're going to see by the time they put it together, but I really enjoyed it. I was laughing out loud.
This movie has a nice heart and a nice soul, and it's funny, and you love the characters, and it's just everything you'd like to see a little movie about.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very happy with it.
Were you ever a sports person when you were younger? Were you a kid? Were you forced into sports or anything like that?
I was never forced into sports, I don't think. Directly, maybe indirectly. Your dad always I'd like to see you be, good. But I think that I played sports all my life. Yeah, sure. I'm from Ohio, steel town, and that was sports were a big thing there.
It's kind of amazing how people get into these little league things and take them extremely seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a serious business in Ohio and Alabama, where I'm from, and Tennessee.
Of course.
California,
so
Texas, it's religion.
Yeah, people can identify with that, I think. I enjoyed playing the guy, treating the boys as if they were men, and then having the line to say, now when you go home tonight, I want you to brush your little teeth, comb your little hair, and, get ready to get out there and rock.
Is it fun for you to do the physical comedy?
I love physical comedy. Yeah, and have always thought that that was an area where I was better than some other areas. So I enjoy doing it.
Because this movie has plenty of that for you.
Yes, going out the window and all that. I did 3 takes on that, and the one take that they kept when I hit the tree and I say, "Whoa, doctor," was someone came from I think Mel Allen or Red Barber. One of those two used to say that. Which one said that? You know, "Whoa, doctor."
I don't remember myself,
It was
but I
either
remember
Mel
the
Allen or Red
expression.
Barber, you know, when they would hit a home run or something, and I was a kid on the radio. It was Red Barber, thank you. And so when I hit the tree, you know, the groin injury, I said, "Whoa, doctor." And they kept it. Why, I don't know, but it is funny some way.
But I think I like Dutch. That's a movie that a lot of people, I think, have seen through home video. I'm not sure it did that great when it was theatrically done, but everybody's seen it in home video now and in home box office.
It was a cute movie. I thought it was a better movie than it did well in terms of money, but I think it was a good little movie.
If you're at the airport or at the grocery store or car wash or wherever you just hang out, are people afraid to come up to you, or people do, or they point, or they throw things, or what do they do when they see you?
I fortunately haven't had people throw things unless I refuse them something. You know, I don't want to sign this or something, and then it's, "Oh yeah," you know. But you run the gamut of people. Most people aren't afraid to come up to me because I think maybe possibly the character that I play, they feel that I'm accessible, you know, that I'm Al. So
You're approachable.
I'm approachable, and I don't think people find maybe, say, a De Niro, you know, approachable as, say, Al Bundy, you know. So maybe that's...
Is it kind of like a squirming thing when you get around that you don't really know how to act? It's a humbling experience, but it's how you react to all that.
Oh, well, you just do the best you can with it. It changes from day to day, depending on the mood you're in.
Some days you're not in the mood to hear it, though, aren't you?
Some days you don't want to hear it, and then you have to sort of, you know, be careful. And then some days it's, you know, it depends on, if you meet somebody who's a delightful person, it's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you know, it's...
But that's quite a load to handle sometimes. I'm sure you can understand how other characters before you, I mean, Jackie Gleason, my goodness, what must he have been like, you know, to have to be like that,
well,
Art
yeah,
Carney
of
and
course.
people like that. You know.
Well, I mean, I think that it is something to think about. Once you've gotten to where people recognize you from whatever it is you do, and almost everywhere you go, then you start to realize that anonymity is a big thing to give up. And you're walking down the street and you don't always want to be looked at, or it's like, hey, you don't like it. I don't, personally, really. I actually never did, but I wanted the money.
It's part of the territory. It's part of the territory. But could you ever really imagine being as famous as, say, a president of the United States, or Michael Jackson, or one of those kind of people? What that must be like?
No. Oh, you mean where you have to be isolated and all that?
I mean, yeah, because you just really can't hide.
That would be, because I have had, you know, more than most people, a taste of that in that direction. But no, that would be unbearable. I would not want to live that way.
Nice seeing you.
Yeah, nice seeing you too.
Thank you.
Tell your daughter I said hi.
I will do that.
So funny. He was almost disgusting in the role because he was such a chauvinistic kind of, you know, pig, but he was funny about it, and you just knew where he was going. I don't remember him in any other role, and I know he played many, except for that one, and I loved it. I loved the kids. I loved Peg, the mom. I just thought it was fantastic. He did a great job. I was young watching that, so it was a great sitcom. But you're not a huge sitcom guy.
It went on a long time.
Yeah, it did.
Didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Seemed like it did.
And reruns too. I mean, they made a lot off the reruns, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Just a great show. Funny show. No,
you know, he is 70, I think 77, 78, 77 years old, and hanging in there, you know. But man, two iconic sitcoms. To me, I'm not a big sitcom guy. I watch zero sitcoms today.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch that many in the last number of years. I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I loved Lucy and Dick Van Dyke. And,
yeah, they were great.
You know, and Andy Griffith and stuff like that. I liked all those as a kid, but I just didn't find most of the other ones very worthy, you know, of my time. But yes, Frasier definitely was a gem I'm so glad I discovered during COVID, because it was badly needed.
Yes, indeed.
And maybe I'll just rediscover Married with Children, but I know that's a favorite of a lot of people.
No doubt about it. And Jimmy, what I love about these Vault episodes is just listening to Ed right there and knowing that he's nothing like the character. That's all I knew
like
him.
Al Bundy.
I
Nothing
never
like Al
knew,
Bundy.
and so it's great.
But you know,
everybody's
got a little something. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little Al Bundy in him somewhere. He wouldn't have been able to find the character.
I hate to say it, but I think there's a little Al Bundy in all of us. At least the guys, anyway. Another great Vault episode. You can check in with us next week. We'll do it all again right here on Sweeping the Country. Until next time, I'm Derek Walker. He is.
I'm Jimmy Carter.
Good day.
Good day.